What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Today we're going over a Spright deck profile. I ended up getting third at locals with this. I only lost one match in the top 4 against Tempai. I could have won the last one by ending on Mosquito still. I had ended up linking it away for the rabbit instead, which definitely was a downfall for me. But yeah, this deck served me really well. I wanted to play a deck that, like, if you did get full roast, you could just end on like a red and a carrot and stuff like that, or maybe even a rabbit, being able to play through those stuff. But this deck really did get hurt by the other multi-army, the Pirellia. I ended up getting hit with that once today, and I actually lost that duel, that duel because of it. But you can still play pretty conservatively. You just have to be careful that if you do get hit with that, they get like so many draws just by extending into your stuff. But yeah, before we dive on into, for like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, help us out a lot. There are going to be Spright duels coming up on the channel as well, so if you guys want to see some of that, definitely stay tuned. Yeah, to start off, we're playing the 3 blue. Obviously, we're always playing the 3 blue, the 3 jet. We're still in the 2 red and the 1 carrot. So this is going to be our Spright package. This hasn't really changed. I am still a huge fan of the double red. I have decided that I don't want to cut up the carrot to 2. There was a build where I was playing that online on DB. I ended up just not thinking it was that good. Now, it is good against a bunch of different stuff, especially with the Azumina cards in the meta. Against maybe the Rigel deck, I'll consider it as well, depending if we get into more board breakers. But yeah, being able to negate evenly match is actually kind of good with this. I ended up doing that against Centurion, which is kind of cool. But other than that, it's just a really good card. You can leave it on the field if you want to. Having the red to negate monsters is absolutely huge, though. So Super Small Spright package, we are playing the level 2s, the best normal summons in the game, Beaver and the Double Angler. I always talk about this. I'm like, okay, you have a bunch of players who are like normal summoning so many different cards, like Ponix and like Hydrant, and then we're over here summoning a Beaver, and it actually can do quite a bit. Like, being able to normal summon a Beaver, summon out the Angler from the deck, and like if you're against like Seals, they're kind of forced like to bounce both of the cards, because having just one level 2 on the field is pretty crazy, but having 2 of them on the field just like risks absolutely everything. So they're kind of opted to choose how they want to interact with it, and like Beaver being able to add back with the Totally Awesome is totally awesome. Being able to have normal summon out, you get that consistency as well as getting the follow up in the hand by just being able to summon out the bodies. It just feels absolutely crazy. The fact that this can summon from graveyard is just perfect. And then to go with the water monsters, we are playing the triple swap frog and the 1 mirror mage, and also include the 1 freezing chains. This is how you make Toad. Not much else to explain to this. We're not playing the Fenrir's. You don't need to play Fenrir's. I found that like actually is kind of worse for the deck. It is a free special summon out and a body, but I just never really found myself needing it. Instead, I'm playing the Bystials in my main deck here. But yeah, this is quite nice. I ended up opening up Mirror Mage so many times, which is kind of unfortunate, but you can do some different lines with that as well. There is a version of this I want to play with another Dimble Angler and then something else to play. I think it's a Deception. But I haven't really fit out the Azumina version of this deck yet. I just want to go for an old good old reliable. That's why we're into playing the pure Spright build. Now for hand traps, we're playing the triple Ash, triple Imperm, triple Dominus Impulse, triple Full Roast, and then the Molcharmies, or the Bystial and the Magnemite. And then, of course, I should put this also as for the non-engine. So this is a pretty big non-engine lineup. You guys can play other cards if you want to. If you want to play Change of Heart and stuff like that, you guys can do that as well. I just chose to do this. I think that Full Roast is really good. They make me draw the hand traps, and like having Impulse is just absolutely crazy. I love Impulse. So the deck's kind of like built around being able to play through or resolve Impulse as well, which is important. But other than that, there's not much you have to really remember. Hand traps are really huge in it. You can't play Nibiru because you're playing Impulse, but you can definitely switch around the hand traps if you want to. If you don't want to play Impulse or you can't afford the Molcharmies and the Full Roses, you can definitely throw in like a Fenrir's. You can throw in Veilers and Nibs like that. Ghost Ogre's really good in this format as well, and like Drolls too. There's different options you can play depending on your budget. You can play a budget version of this deck if you want to, but that's just going to be us. And now for the other cards, the non-hand trap, but the hand traps. Cobble the Grave, no need to explain that, being able to negate anything. This, I wanted to hit a full, a Pirellia, but I did not, unfortunately. And then Talents. Talents actually won me my match against the Marinsys player. Shout out to Sean. He's been talenting me since the dawn of this card. And I finally have gotten my revenge with Talents. But yeah, this card's kind of crazy. It kind of acts as a Change of Heart or, ripping their hand. Which Change of Heart is really popular in the Spright deck. But I wanted this, in a heavy hand trap format, this could go really well, as well as being able to draw multiple cards. Sometimes being able to, just summon out a blue from your hand. When you're to have, burn through all your cards, you have a Talents. You didn't get hand trapped the first turn, they hand trap you the second turn, you Talent. Either steal one of their monsters to link up, or you just go Talents, draw 2. You've already gone through a bunch of your hand traps, you've gone through a bunch of your engine. You'll a lot of the times draw into, like, a starter, draw a blue, or any of the other senders, which can allow then you to go up into a gigantic Spright and kind of continue your plays. But yeah, that's kind of it. The reason why I'm playing talents over a change of heart and stuff like that. I find that it's just more useful. But then yeah, for the other engine pieces, we are playing the triple copies of starter. It's at 3. Why wouldn't we play it? The double cross as well as the Azrune. We're not playing the Gamma Burst in the main. You don't need to do that. We're playing the double cross, and you don't need to play the Smashers anymore. That card has kind of been phased out, unfortunately for us. It is a cool card that can come back in certain metas, but unfortunately it's not really needed right now. And then of course Azrune is a level or a link to bunny mana monster we can make, so we can do set this. It's important to note this is not very good against Tenpai, unfortunately. Now we are going for the extra deck here. Double Gigantic, 1 Toad, the Mosquito, the Soul Sweeper, Downerd, Zeus, and Typhon for our XYZs. Now, I did get debarriered calling XYZs quite a bit, and you do actually kind of struggle when you do get hit with that. Now, you still have a bunch of different link monsters you can make. Like, I'm going to be changing up my extra deck a little bit, but like this is going to be pretty standard here. Typhon didn't really come up, actually. I could debatably cut this. The Downerd and Zeus came up once. Double Spright, Gigantic is just needed. Totally awesome, obviously. This ended up winning me 2 games here, which is kind of cool. As well as, like, say, Omni Sweeper also won me game 1 against Tenpai. But yeah, like this card's absolutely crazy. If you guys have not read this card, I definitely recommend you do it. If you guys are not aware of this card can win you games as well. I won the game against Centurion with this, as well as I should have won the game versus Tenpai with this. I forgot that it activates during their turn as well, so I linked it away for the rabbit and setting the trap card thing. I'm like, okay, but I should just left it on the field. They have to attack, and then they attack, activate the effect, make them take the damage, and they just lose the game. They're at 1,000 life points, so none of their Tenpai monsters would have been able to attack to kind of get anything going. So yeah, we should have definitely done that there, which is just unfortunate for us. It's also at the start of the damage step as well, which I should mention. So they do take the damage before you would take the damage. Very important to note. And it's effect damage as well. So for the links, we're playing IP, SP, Sprind, Rabbit, Dark, Nightmare Phoenix, and the Emerald Goddess. So this is Stout Towers. This is honestly a flex spot. I really just love Nightmare Phoenix, so I put it in there as a level 2. You can go up in Gigantic Spright with it, which is kind of cool. I ended up getting rid of, I forget what I get rid of, but it did come up at one point where I discarded the Angler, which was kind of cool with this. And then the Dark, just so you can take stuff and make the SP with like any of your monsters here using the Link 2, and if they have it Dark in the graveyard. Then Silhouette Rabbit as well. You know, being able to set your trap, I mention this all the time, is kind of crazy in this deck. And then during your turn, or if you already activated, you can just overlay with Gigantic Spright, or even just use it to pop cards in the field. Very good against Sai and summoning. Sprind, I wish I could play 2 of it. I don't think it's necessarily needed, but sometimes in like matchups where you are going to a grind game, second Sprind is kind of nice. And SP and IP, Spright stables at this point. That's it for the extra deck. Now we went to the side deck. This was a tournament result, so I'm going to be showing you guys the side deck as well and explaining why I'm playing it. I think I'm going to start doing that for all of my tournament results and videos, so I can show you guys what and why. So D-Shifter, very good in this format. It didn't come up against anything. I didn't end up seeing it, but it's still obviously very good when I do play it. Have played it before in the past. D-Barrier, this card's crazy. I played against Centurion, end up floodgating them. D-Barrier against Tenpai, ended up almost winning that match. I should say at game 3, I kind of screwed up by, not leaving that Mosquito on the field. But this card's absolutely crazy. We all know. Please ban these 2 cards, Konami. Now, we are playing Raigeki. The reason why I'm playing Raigeki is I don't want to play evenly matched. I didn't want to play like Dark Ruler no more. I wanted to just blow up the field, try to get the game. So Raigeki was kind of the card that, a lot of players don't set up Omni Negates. So Raigeki just kind of went ham there. I don't think I ended up seeing it at all, which is unfortunate. But I did really like it in theory. Harpy's Feather Duster and the 2 Cosmics. If you guys have watched any duels on the channel or any videos, you know this is going to be a staple for us. You always play this ratio as long as time can proceed. We're going to be playing this. And then for the last 3 cards, we're playing the Gamma Burst, the Baldrake, and the Anti-Spell Fragrance. Just going for going first, just so you know, Abyss Shield that we can side it in if you want to play a higher Abyss Shield count. And then Gamma Burst for the going second OTK, tying in with Shifter, which can be absolutely huge. This can get you up with Gigantic Spright, Blue, Carrot, Red, and you can be an OTK option. But make sure you notice that it also does affect your opponent's Link 2 and level 2 monsters. It doesn't always come up, but if they do end on a Link 2, it's going to be getting the boost. A lot of the decks end up ending on an SP or something like that, but a lot of times they're going to chain their SP to this, so they're going to make sure that they remove one of your bodies, but in doing so, they actually end up making themselves lose the game, because sometimes you have like a starter as well, which you can just end up using it to push, and like you just kind of baited them for that, which is kind of important. So yeah, if you are playing against this, this does boost your SP as well. So make sure you realize that. You can win games that way. You don't need to necessarily chain the SP, but yeah. That's going to be really it for the side deck. It's not really much to explain. Very simple side deck. Overall, this deck is actually really simple to play. I think this deck is extremely amazing for any beginners if you are looking to pick up Yu-Gi-Oh! It shows you a lot of interactions you can play, and it does reward good plays as well as good players. Knowing your mosquito lines, stuff like that, knowing when to summon up which body, and be able to use your totally awesome negates, but you can get double toed with the copy of the trap card, can be quite nice. Being able to just orient and kind of decide when you want to negate those stuff, and they're going to be crucial to you, and then be able to take them as well, and you need to use them during your opponent's turn. I took a talent, which was going to be able to be live when the hand trap made during their turn, and admitting defeat because they know that was going to happen, and they're just losing there, which is quite nice. But regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.